So there is a saying that I've seen going around a couple of places, like a meme on Facebook or something. I don't know who originally said it. It goes like this. Sometimes giving someone a second chance is like giving them a second bullet because they missed the first time. And I actually believe that. I think that sometimes we think that forgiveness means that we give someone another chance to hurt us. And most of us can't and should not be doing that. What forgiveness is to separate ourselves from the harm that another person wishes to bestow upon us. It's to extricate ourselves from that, because if we're not forgiving them, we're holding them in our heart, and we're helping them to hurt ourselves even when they're not there. Like we're taking the energy and like the instructions they gave us, like if they did something to us, and we remember it, and we remember it, when we do it to ourselves, we say the same, play the same recording, and it's like we're carrying them with us and doing all their jobs for us to keep hurting ourselves. And to forgive means to undo yourself and release yourself from that kind of energy and that kind of harm, and free yourself and get some more truth, because all that harm, of course, is a lie as well, and get some more truth into who you are and what your purpose here is, and that that you can be safe and you can be peaceful. That's what forgiveness is to bless yourself first. Now, if you feel strong enough and want to take the next step, then you can bless the other person. That's okay too. But just the fact of undoing yourself from them is a blessing to them. And I'm going to read something that I wrote a while back that explains why. But I do want to say too, sometimes we can get strong enough that things don't hurt us. Like they might have hurt us 10 years ago, but they just don't. Like, for example, there are a lot of things that my kids, maybe, well, it doesn't even have to be my kids, but just the way people think sometimes about me, or the way things they say to me, or things like that. I mean, it wouldn't even land. I mean, somebody saying something to me that's like maybe not exactly nice or something, it wouldn't even land on me. I'd be like, I would actually, I've trained myself to the point where it's fun to say, if someone says something, then I actually turn it around and I try to find the best thing about them in that moment. And I say, or if they want to say something rude about me, I'll say, well, how are you today? Sounds like it's a tough day for you, because I'm going to assume that the reason that they're rude is it might be a tough day. So it's not about me, and I don't make it about me, and it never is about you. Whatever's coming out of someone else's mouth is about them, and whatever's coming out of their energy is about them. It's not about you, even if they put your name on it. So I'm to the point where certain things just don't even hurt me, and so I do have a certain strength to be able to turn that around. And so forgiveness isn't even needed because I didn't get hurt in the first place. See what I mean? So you can get to that place. And it seems like it would be super hard, but sometimes it's just, maybe you just need to be inspired with the possibility that you don't have to take all that stuff on. And then you can just go out and just meet the subtext of people and answer that. And of course, there's still things that do hurt me. I'm still a work in progress. But I do want to read something I wrote. You are doing no kindness to permit another human being to do a sin or harm upon you. Stop them from doing that if you are able. Sometimes we aren't strong enough. And without harming them in return, if you are able. It's better to stop them with harming them if you can't think of anything else to do, but try to become strong enough to stop them without harming them. It is no kindness to provide a target. It is kindness to respect and value and protect yourself, and to meet that other person with this strong nurtured person who is you. That's what makes the world in order. And I've talked before in these videos about limiting harm, and right now I'm just kind of talking about it in general. In the future I'll probably do a whole series about very specific principles and methods. But if someone, for example, if someone wants to beat you, if they were able to accomplish that, they would have that on their soul. That's going to be chains and marks and karma, or whatever you want to call it, on their soul. And it's going to harm them too, because whenever you harm someone else, you're harming yourself at the same time. You can't separate those two things. So if you take the beating, now I'm using beating because a lot of us aren't strong enough to do anything back. Like, beating is pretty hard and extreme. Like, it frightens us, it scares us, they're strong, we don't know what to do. So to grow into somebody who could maybe meet that with a different, and I'm not saying I could do it, but to meet it with a different response than to cower and allow it. But if you were to stop that, either by just leaving, like removing yourself from that person's orbit, number one, or if you had some self-defense skills, not necessarily to hurt them back, but definitely to protect yourself, and then, if you could leave them alive, it would be nice, but if not, whatever. I'm not saying alive. Don't kill anybody. I'm not suggesting that. But do you see, if you could actually stop them, then you've actually helped them, because they weren't able to affect their harm, and then it didn't happen. It wasn't an event in the world. And it's actually a blessing to them that it's not on them either. So you've done something for both of you. If you protect yourself in the right way, then you've done something for yourself, but you've also done something for them. So it goes both ways. If you harm somebody, you harm yourself. If you bless someone, you bless yourself. And if you limit harm, you've limited harm to both people. And I think that this kind of idea is like one of the major cruxes of how you have to have peace in the world, is not just to bless people, other people, but to realize, to remove as much harm from what's coming in from you, either by like literally stopping it from happening in event-wise, and also building yourself up so that certain things don't affect you as harm. Now, there was actually a young man who I was my acquaintance, and he was very charming for a while, and I thought that, we might have somewhere to go with that, because he was very charming when he was charming. And one day he decided to call me some bad names. And of course I was very surprised coming from him, like his other side, And it didn't make me feel bad. Like, I didn't believe the names. Like, I know who I am, It wasn't like I felt bad. I almost wanted to laugh, like, that's where you're going with this, So I didn't actually feel bad on the inside. However, even though I didn't feel bad and he didn't actually harm me because I couldn't be harmed by such things, I also completely removed myself from his presence forever, because I don't have time in this world to allow a person like that in my presence. I did, I was kind to him. I was nice to him. I explained to him. I said, no one has ever called me names like that. Not my father, not my brother, not my husband, not my sons, not my other male friends. No one has ever called me names like that. And you are not going to be the first. Well, it was the first, but you get 0 chances. And if you take one, you're already over the top, right? And he, like a lot of people in those kind of situations who have habits like that, he was apologetic, but he wasn't able to. I did give him a chance, but he wasn't able to do it. And so I just, I don't have time for that. And I needed to let him go on his own path, and I blessed him. Like, thank you for the time you spent with me, but this doesn't need to be in my life. And I allow 0 persons who are, speaking that way, acting that way, thinking that way around me for constantly, maybe for small amounts where I might be able to lift someone up, but I'm not going to carry him around to constantly be feeding that kind of energy in my life. So those are some examples and some ideas. And don't give people bullets to use you as a target. Don't do it. That's not kindness. You don't have to be mean back, but you do need to know who you are, stand up for yourself. And this is a very long lesson that I've ever had to learn, and I'm still learning it in my life. But I wish you the best in figuring that one out and pondering it for your life and becoming free from the harm that you're doing and the harm that others have done to you and the harm that you're helping them do to you. I wish you freedom, because that's the units. The free person, the whole person, is going to be the unit of a whole peaceful world. See you soon.